So I have made some progress so far, and I ended up stopping for the night because I had problems with my sanding tool that I was using. Now it is damaged, it doesn't work. My compressor is way too small and I can't use the air tool that I have, so the tool that uses compressed air. So I'm back at the good old sanding block, sanding by hand, and you can see that I have removed ton of clear coat and I'm already at the level of the paint. I'm getting the paint off the rooftop already, and I'm doing this because now is the perfect time to show you these marks that are on the rooftop. You can see this cut over here. There are tons more cuts like it over here and over here and over here and all over the rooftop line. Actually, everywhere on this rooftop is like this, and because of it I have to get all of the clear coat out and probably the paint, since the car has been repainted. I don't know if I have ever mentioned that, but the car was repainted at one point, and I don't know the condition of the bottom layer, what is going on, so most likely I'm gonna get rid of all of this clear coat and paint, because on the older cars it is nice to remove it since it burns out easily and it is not okay. It's not good base for the new coat. So just to be sure, and I have the heel damage as well that I have to take care of, but just to be sure that I'm gonna have nice solid base for my base coat and my primer, I'm gonna remove everything out of my way. And the reason that I wanted to show you these cuts is that they look like they have been made with a knife or something, but actually this is from polishing. Somehow, somewhere, someone in the past has polished the car and the sandpaper was way too rough, or it was pressed very hard, or something was not okay, and the sandpaper has cut through the clear coat into the paint, and after some time this led to damaging the clear coat and the paint. It was starting to almost chipping off the clear coat surrounding these cuts. So I wanted to show you this, what happens when the polishing is not done properly or recklessly. So all of the backside of the rooftop was like this. I haven't looked through the front side, but over here I had so many cuts that it was just ridiculous, and this is one of the reasons that I insisted on removing all of it. The other thing is that you can see over here in this area, over here it is almost flat and nice even surface, but over here you can tell that this panel is not the straightest out there. This is because of the hail. These are the bigger spots that the hail has damaged, but over here I'm already at metal. You can see the metal shining through, but right next to it, where the hail has damaged the panel, I'm still at the clear coat. I haven't gone through the clear coat yet. So basically I'm gonna clean it all off, and I will most likely use some soft putty and body primer filler, and I'm gonna try to make the panel as straight as possible with a thin layer, just to give it a nice even finish the best way that I can at the moment, because I'm not gonna go way too crazy with it, but we'll see. This is the progress. I'm so happy that I'm gonna be able to get rid of these cuts, and I wanted to share with you what happens when the car is not polished the proper way, how the paint can be damaged irreversibly, and pretty much this is it. I'm gonna sand all of it and start priming this thing, filling it and stuff, and I will show you that as well a little bit later. So guys, I'm getting deeper into the layers and I have to show you those small scratches that I showed you earlier, like these ones, what happens with them when I get deeper into the paint and into the layers. You can see why I'm removing most of the paint. There are giant holes basically underneath. So those small scratches on the surface often end up looking like this. So when I don't remove everything that is covering these small pits and holes here and there, the new paint won't have nice enough base and may end up chipping on these spots. So this was the reason that I wanted to show you earlier, these small cracks and scratches, and you can see that once I go deeper they become so much bigger than the ones on the top that are looking so small and tiny. Don't mind these awful scratches. I ended up trying to use my polishing machine, that one over there, to sand, and don't get me wrong, but I won't attempt this again. I have to get rid of from all of the scratches on the top that I made, and this is way unpractical. So for the time being I'm gonna get the sanding block and start resurfacing everything and getting back to work basically. It has been a while since I started sanding this rooftop, so this is where I'm at the moment. I think I have made significant progress and now I can focus on to these spots that I couldn't reach when I was sanding with the bigger block. Now I'm gonna take something small, some small piece of sandpaper, and I will dig into the areas that are still untouched. So I'm gonna sand them as well, the low spots I mean, and everything in between. I will clean the rooftop as much as possible, but this was the perfect time to show you my progress. I'm hoping that soon I'm gonna be ready to finish with the rooftop and get started with the preparing of the rest of the body for paint. Well guys, I'm finally done with the rooftop. You can see the difference now. It is on metal. I have to admit it was very hard to do this by hand and very discouraging, but now I can see all the damages and stuff and I can address them. You can tell that this needs some serious work. I can start priming this thing and filling it with Fuji and stuff and prepping it for the next stages. So I'm gonna finally be able to get rid of the hail damage. Probably it looks worse on camera than it actually is. I think you can tell that there are so many damaged areas that were incorrectly repaired. The previous time when the car was first damaged, someone used angle grinder or something, I don't know, but there are so many spots like this, so I won't be able to address them at the moment. I will use body filler to fill the gaps and even the rooftop, and this is going to be all. But the bad news is that the weather is getting worse and worse. Almost every day we have some strong winds. You can hear the wind. It is actually warm. The weather is warm, which is strange at the moment, but the wind is so strong and I barely have days without wind. Recently it has been like this, so I don't know how I'm gonna deal with the paint. Most likely I'm gonna scrap the idea for custom color because it is gonna be impossible. I won't have the time to do that, and since I spent way too much time doing this thing, I'm way behind. So I will try to do my best and finish with the paint job as fast as possible because I'm way behind. The good news is that probably this year Christmas came early I spent so much time doing this by hand, and only yesterday my brother surprised me with these things. Some budget versions of random orbital sander we have here, and finishing sander over here. So I'm hoping that this is gonna help me finish my work faster and sand and straighten the body as quick as possible, because as I said, I'm way behind with everything. So I'm gonna unpack them, I'm gonna start priming, applying putty and stuff, and hopefully these cute little things are gonna help me. So guys, the first layer of putty is applied on the rooftop, and I will start sanding and straightening. I went a little bit thinner than what I needed over here in this area, so I'm gonna have to probably apply some more. I have this area that I have to fix. I was in a rush last night, so I made some stupid mistakes here and there. Most likely I'm gonna have to deal with them, fix them, especially the area that the layers are connecting over here. I have to fix that as well, but unfortunately I think that the plan is gonna be modified. I will have to change the narrative here. Instead of fixing and making the car as good as possible, most likely I will have to wrap up the project. This means that I will compromise with the rooftop. I'm gonna just straighten it the best way that I can. I'm gonna prime it, and I'm gonna get a few coats of paint, and most likely I will use the original color just to get the car back on the road, because I won't have the time to fix all of the things that I want to fix. The car surprised me, unfortunately, in a bad way, and this changed all of the plans that I had initially, so I will have to start all over again when the spring comes probably, but we'll see, I don't know. Let's start sanding and we'll see what tomorrow is gonna bring.